Previously in the story of Dhruva, humiliated in his own father's court, the young prince left the palace after his mother Suniti taught him that only Lord Vishnu could grant him true justice. Guided by sage Narada, Dhruva journeyed into the forest and performed an extraordinary penance with unwavering devotion. Moved by the young prince's faith, Lord Vishnu appeared before him, blessed him with eternal glory, and promised him a place among the stars. Now, with his divine mission fulfilled, Dhruva begins his journey back to the kingdom he once left behind. The journey home felt very different from the journey into the forest. When Dhruva had first left the palace, he was a wounded child searching for justice. Now, he returned with a heart filled with peace. The anger that had once driven him had disappeared. The desire for a kingdom no longer held any meaning. He carried with him only the blessings of Lord Vishnu. News of the young prince's return spread throughout the kingdom with astonishing speed. A messenger rushed into the royal court and fell before King Uttanpada. "Your Majesty, Prince Dhruva has returned." For a brief moment, the king could scarcely believe what he had heard. His eyes filled with tears, unable to contain his joy. He removed the magnificent diamond necklace from his own neck and presented it to the messenger as a reward for bringing such wonderful news. Without delay, preparations began across the capital. The streets were swept clean, colorful banners fluttered in the breeze, flowers decorated the roads leading to the city. The entire kingdom came alive with celebration. King Uttanpada himself walked at the head of the royal procession. Behind him came the queens, ministers, soldiers, priests, musicians, and countless citizens followed. No one wished to remain behind. Every heart longed to welcome home the little prince whose courage had already become legendary. Far beyond the palace gate, they finally saw him. There stood Dhruva. His simple clothes still bore the marks of the forest. His body had grown lean from months of austerity, yet his face shone with a peace and radiance unlike anything they had ever witnessed. King Uttanpada could wait no longer. Before the procession had even come to a halt, he hurried towards his son. Without speaking a single word, he embraced Dhruva tightly. Tears streamed down the king's face. At last, the silence that had once wounded his son was replaced by the embrace of a father filled with love and remorse. Moments later, Queen Suniti reached her son. She held him close, unable to stop her tears. The child for whom she had prayed day and night had returned safely. Looking into his eyes, she knew he was no longer the little boy who had left the cottage. His face reflected a peace that only divine grace could bestow. Then came the moment no one expected. Queen Suruchi slowly stepped towards Dhruva. Gone was the pride that had once ruled her heart. Gone was the jealousy that had divided the royal family. She walked toward Dhruva with lowered eyes. For a long moment she stood in silence. Then she gently embraced the child she had once rejected. Overcome with shame and repentance, Suruchi realized that the boy she had tried to humiliate had become greater than any king could ever hope to be. Dhruva returned her embrace without resentment. His heart had no room for anger. Lord Vishnu's grace had replaced it with compassion, and in that moment, the wounds of the royal family finally began to heal. Years passed. Dhruva and his younger brother Uttama grew into capable princes. They studied the scriptures, they mastered the arts of warfare, they learned the responsibilities of kingship. When the time came, King Uttanpada trusted the kingdom to Dhruva. The young prince who had once sought only his father's lap now accepted the throne with complete humility. He ruled not for power, nor for glory. He ruled because it was his sacred duty. His people loved him deeply. Justice prevailed throughout the kingdom. The weak found protection. The poor found compassion. The learned were respected. Peace flourished across the land. Yet despite the responsibility of a great monarch, Dhruva never forgot the lesson he had learned beneath the trees of the forest. Each day, amidst the duties of ruling a kingdom, he set aside time to meditate upon Lord Vishnu. His devotion remained as unwavering as ever. Many years passed. Dhruva fulfilled every responsibility entrusted to him. He had protected his people. He had ruled with righteousness. He had honored the blessing given by the Lord. At last, he knew his earthly mission was complete. One day, he quietly withdrew from the affairs of the kingdom. Choosing a peaceful place for meditation, he sat once more in deep contemplation of Lord Vishnu. This time, he was not seeking a boon, nor asking for guidance. He simply wished to return to the Lord whom he loved above all else. Then the heavens answered once again. Thunder rolled across the sky, lightning flashed through the clouds. A magnificent golden chariot descended from the heavens, shining brighter than the sun. Celestial music filled the air. A divine voice echoed across the earth. Dhruva, your place among mortals is complete. Come now to your eternal home. The little prince who had once wandered alone into the forest had become one of the greatest devotees in all creation. With folded hands, Dhruva stepped into the radiant chariot. As it rose toward the heavens, the seven great sages who had blessed him in childhood accompanied him on his final journey. Higher and higher the celestial chariot climbed, beyond the clouds, beyond the sun and moon, beyond the realms known to men, until by the will of Lord Vishnu, Dhruva reached the place prepared for him long ago. There he became the Dhruva Nakshatra, steady, unmoving, brilliant, a beacon that would guide travelers through darkness for generations to come. Around him shone the seven great sages, remembered in the heavens as the Saptarishi. Even today, when we look toward the northern sky, the Dhruva Nakshatra, also known as the pole star, appears almost motionless, while the stars around it slowly circle. For countless generations, people have looked to it for guidance. In the sacred tradition, that unwavering star is remembered as Dhruva, the child whose faith never wavered. The story of Dhruva is not merely the tale of a prince who became a star. It is the story of unwavering determination, a reminder that true devotion is stronger than humiliation, stronger than hardship, stronger even than the temptations of power and pride. Dhruva began his journey seeking a place upon his father's lap, but by surrendering his heart completely to the divine, he earned a place that no earthly throne could ever offer. His story teaches us that sincere faith, humility, forgiveness, and steadfast devotion have the power to transform even the deepest sorrow into eternal glory. And that is why, after thousands of years, the name of Dhruva still shines both in our scriptures and in the night sky. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through the timeless stories of ancient India, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for the next story from our sacred heritage.